good evening. This is Rihanna from Plan Household Empowerment Group, and we are back live again today with another Instagram Live with another special friend. So yesterday I was joined by Leisha, and we was talking just about mental health in general, some experiences that you may have had, like some personal experiences, just as well as her own initiative of bouncing back. So today I'm going to be joined by another friend called Donelle. I'm not going to tell you too much about her. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but you're going to definitely be interested in what she's going to be offering and what we're going to be discussing today. Okay, so I'm going to wait for Danelle to join. And whilst I'm waiting for her, I'll give you a bit of an update as to why we're doing these lives. So as I said yesterday, this week is Mental Health Awareness Week. Okay, and we are here trying to just bring conversations to the forefront about personal experiences, understanding what mental health is, how to get support, and the different things that impact mental health as well. So normalizing these conversations is exactly what we're trying to do. Okay, so I can see that we've got some people coming in. Hi Naya, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining. So yeah, the discussion that I'm going to be having with Danelle today is going to be, it might be a bit of a triggering topic. So I am going to put that trigger warning out there from now, because, yeah, it's very much needed to know that this topic is going to be about suicide and mental health. So understanding what impacts that journey into how someone can bring themselves to making that kind of decision or having those types of thoughts. So just giving it a trigger warning, like I said, putting it out there. So if you find that you find the conversation a bit difficult, feel free to jump off, jump back on, collect yourself, collect your thoughts. Also, there's going to be some information shared throughout the live. So if you do find it triggering and you need that bit of extra help, I'm sure Danelle will be sharing some of the services and support that can be helpful to you. Okay? So let's see where Danelle is. Let's see where she is. Running a little late. Okie doke. Just invited her on. Right, she's coming on. So Danelle is part of the Brave Project. And here is Donelle. Hello.
Hi.
Lovely.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Brilliant. I'm good. Yeah.
Yes. How's your day been? Let's have a quick check-in. How's your day been?
Do you know what? It's been great. Not as productive as yesterday. I think yesterday I had quite a few meetings, but today was about respite, so rest and
Mm-hmm.
recovery for me.
Good. We all need it. We all need it.
100% we do, yes.
Yes. And what do you feel has definitely aided your rest and recovery today?
Um, I think just knowing that the importance of rest and how it can affect my mental health and well-being, and obviously being able to give out so much of myself to other people, I need to make sure that I give back to myself. So it's like just making sure that I have that care and affection that I need. So that's why it's important to me.
Yes. Lovely. Thank you. Okay, so before we delve into conversations, do you want to give a bit of an introduction, who you are, what you do, and who you are and what you do, and we'll get into the conversation in a bit.
Okay, so for those that are not aware, my name's Donelle Grant, and I'm a 39-year-old mother from East London, and I run a suicide prevention organisation called the Brave Project. And what we do is we are a suicide prevention and wellbeing service for young BME boys and men.
Lovely. And given the fact that you've mentioned that it's specific for boys and men, I've got a comment already in the chat that says, I think that more of us spoken about have found ourselves experiencing these thoughts and even attempt. So what you're doing is definitely needed, because the conversation needs to be brought to the forefront, which is what we hope to at least do today. So
yeah. So I mean, the reason Sorry, what was you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say what else you do, but carry on.
So, as well as being the founder of the Brave Project, I also work within mental health services as well as a community development worker. But so for the Brave Project, what we do is essentially we create campaigns that influence change, and we also provide wellbeing workshops that enable the young men to speak about how they feel without fear of judgment.
Yes, yes. And we all know that men find it that little bit more difficult than us women to talk about our feelings. Like I'm seeing more and more men coming to the forefront, opening up, but still it's very challenging. And yeah, there's a lot of stigma around just talking about situations you've gone through, how it's affecting you. So definitely what you're doing, I think, is needed. I know that we've spoken a bit about it, but
Yeah.
tell the listeners a bit more about the workshops, because I know that one sparked my interest, that we've done something very similar for journaling. So tell the listeners a bit
Right.
about
Yes, yes, yes. So last year, October, around Black History Month, I was provided with the opportunity to go into a North London men's prison and do a workshop for Black History Month. And what I did as part of the Brave Project, we did a journaling workshop with the men within the prison. And essentially the journaling workshop was to provide the men with a safe space so that they can basically get their thoughts and feelings down onto paper. And what we did was, within the journals, we had affirmations. So that was that is what enabled the men to speak about how they felt. And we spoke about, the fact that within the Black and ethnic minority community, there was this term, you have to man up. And we spoke about how the men felt growing up and situations that led them to be in prison. So it was really powerful.
I can imagine. And what do you feel was the most beneficial aspect of that workshop for the men from the feedback that you got?
I feel the most beneficial part of the workshop was the men knowing that there was somebody out there that was sort of campaigning for them, and that they were allowed to speak up about how they felt and the situations that they potentially had gone through that may have made them end up in prison. Not that it wasn't their fault, but there was help outside, and there was people that they could speak to about their thoughts and their feelings.
Yeah, yeah. And like we said before, prevention is so much better than cure. When you get to that point of needing the intervention, that support, that intensive help, there's people like you and services like yours that can provide that preventative measures and those preventative initiatives to better inform individuals on how they can kind of get themselves out of those dark thoughts, those reoccurring patterns, and particularly where the theme is nature. And I know we're going to kind of be speaking about environment and the impact of your environment on your mental health. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts around journaling as just a mental clearance, because I know you journal yourself. I journal every day.
So for me, journaling I felt was really good for myself in particular, but I know for men, they're not really provided with safe spaces, they don't feel comfortable because of stigma and things that they may have heard growing up. So it's easier for them to put their feelings onto paper and speak within like a safe space, which was the workshops that I created. And for me, it's that early intervention, because obviously from your experience working with the mental health, when Black and Asian men are picked up, it's sort of a crisis level. It's never it's not usually within early intervention, and that's because of a number of reasons, which I'm happy to go into.
Yeah, it's true. And even you touching upon my field of work as well, like I touched upon it yesterday, but I'll just kind of cover it again for the listeners today. I work within mental health advocacy. I usually, obviously during COVID, not been going to the wards so much, but usually go to the wards, support individuals that are on section under a mental health act and unable to advocate for themselves, in all honesty. So the majority of people that I do see on the wards are of Black and Asian descent. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
We've had many discussions about why those individuals are there, because it's not just the mental health, it's everything that surrounds them as well. Again, looking at environment. So do you want to delve into a bit about how people's environment and what they're going through impacts their mental health a bit?
So there's a number of reasons why it particularly impacts the mental health of Black and ethnic minority men. So from, you've got racism, you know, they're pre-exposed to racism. We've got the social and economical reasons, so maybe being grown up in areas of deprivation. Also, the schooling system, unfortunately, has failed young Black and Asian men. So, you know, you've got that pupil referral unit to prison. There isn't any intervention that is put in place, and you know, they are misunderstood. Unfortunately, when they are sort of picked up, it might be within a crisis unit, or unfortunately, maybe when they go to prison and things like that. And also things like cultural reasons as well unfortunately, within our communities, because of the stigma around mental health, the men don't feel comfortable talking about it, and stuff like that. So a number of reasons that make there's much more higher risk within for young Black and ethnic minority men than there will be for their white counterparts. When you look at the statistics, up until the age of 11, there is no difference between a white young boy and a Black or ethnic minority boy. And then you have to look at why does it change after that? You know, is what's happening in the schools? You know, because if you think about it, at age 11, that's when they go into secondary schools.
Yeah, definitely. And even after that, so what kind of support is provided to them in schools, and what's actually happening at home as well during that adolescent transitional period? What type of educational experience are they having with their teachers? I find that something very important, because for my son especially, I find that he thrives when he is getting that one-to-one support, as well as it being from someone that understands his background, you know, and can, if not relate, you're just culturally competent to take the time to know and to ask.
Exactly. And this is another one of the reasons why there's a higher rate of suicide between young Black and ethnic minority men. One is because there's lack of culturally appropriate services and support. So, for instance, IAPT services, you know, if somebody goes to their GP.
Those of you that don't know, go and tell them what IAPT stands for.
Well, so if somebody goes to their GP services, they refer to the IAPT services, and the IAPT services, the local counselling services that run by, say, social care. The thing is, the young Black and ethnic minority men, there's not enough information around that. Plus, most of the IAPT services, counsellors, they are not equipped to deal with or support the young men, because there's that lack of understanding. Even when you look at some of the support that's in place at the moment. So, for instance, the suicide prevention services, who are all trying to do their best, and they do phenomenal work. But when you look at the campaigns for offering support to young Black and ethnic minority men and boys, there is a lack of representation. So there are not any boys that look like my sons or your son or any of our sons, you know. It's very, very, if there is, it's very, very minimal. So then the young men that I've had who have used our services or who contacted us for support have fed back that, you know, the reason why they may have not gone to these services, not just because they didn't understand, but because their campaigns, they didn't look like them, you know, so they didn't think it was for them.
They couldn't relate. And do you know what, I think specifically where you're based in East London, like you said, I know East London is one of the very most multicultural areas in the UK. So knowing that you can provide a service or a multitude of individuals, or
Yeah,
I'd like to say an array of ethnicities.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's one of these things that it's needed. It is needed, and yeah, doing some great stuff,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So tell me a bit more. Tell me a bit more. Go on.
So the services we provide are for young Black and ethnic minority boys and men who live in the London Borough of Newham and the
Mhm.
surrounding areas. So that's Waltham Forest, Tower Hamlets, and also Barking and Dagenham, because they sort of
Mm,
surround the London Borough of Newham.
mm,
We provide holistic coaching to young people and also to their parents as well. So
mm,
if parents came to us and they were their sons were struggling at home, or they felt that their sons needed support, we could provide
mm.
them with signposting information. And
Yeah,
we also provide not just signposting information for suicide or mental health, but we also provide opportunities for like access to further education, so work opportunities and
yeah.
activity within the local areas as well.
Yeah, good. And that's again with proximity and environment,
Mm.
knowing that when you're able to lift yourself out of somewhat of a dark place, you can
Yeah,
place yourself in somewhere that can somewhat provide you a wraparound service, you know?
so,
And I
yeah,
think that's kind of what you provide. And yeah, if that is that gap, like you said, you've identified that gap where these services aren't able to provide exactly what we need for our people, then yeah, kudos to you for setting it up and going forward with it. So
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
So sorry, we keep talking. Go on, Lola, go on. What was you gonna say?
And I was just saying that basically, like what you were saying, that the Brave project, essentially, we are bridging the gap between
Mm,
the services and the service users,
yeah,
and you can see that the evidence and the stats are out there that
mm,
our young men they need to be saved. It
mm,
doesn't matter. You don't need to be a clinician and you don't need to be a doctor to save somebody's life. It
yeah,
just takes that one conversation. You need to
yes,
be able to observe people around you. So not just young boys and men. If it's somebody close to you or somebody you come into contact with at work, when it comes to
mm,
suicide,
mm,
observe to see how they are. If you see a change in their behavior, if you
mm,
see that they're acting like maybe they're isolating themselves and stuff like that,
mm,
and then you act on it, you can ask them.
mm,
There's nothing wrong with asking someone if they're feeling suicidal. It's not
yeah,
putting words into their mouth, and it
yeah,
is advised that you ask them that direct question,
yeah,
and then signpost them to organizations.
mm,
Through the Brave Project, we provide signposting information, and if you go onto like our Instagram account, you will see a number of services that
mm.
are able to provide that support. Um,
Yeah.
if you're not able to, if you do have issues contacting the services, or you don't feel that you didn't get the support that you required, please do feedback that information to us, because it's essential that you get the support that you need, or the person that close to you gets the support that they need.
Yes, get that support. And that's exactly what this live is doing, is hopefully providing the information to more people so that way if you know someone that is experiencing anything that Danelle's explained, or you're realizing that someone isn't themselves, they've been talking about a lot of dark thoughts, feeling like not themselves, and they've probably even said, you know what, there's nothing worth living for. Things
Mm.
like that, you'll pick up that there has been a change in someone, and there is things that you can do to help them. And one of them is getting in contact with Danelle
Yeah, yeah.
and some of the services that she's spoken about. So yeah, so tell me a bit about because I want to link this to Mental Health Awareness Week,
Mhm.
and given the fact that it's about nature. Do you have anything in the pipeline for the Brave projects that might be linked to nature that you can let the viewers know about?
So in regards to nature in the future, so not this week in particular, we are just in the process of planning an away day for some men. So it's
Yeah.
either going to be a away day or an away weekend, but
Oh,
outside
wait,
of.
it's only for men, just to be clear. I can't come.
Yes. Well, you can come as a facilitator potentially, but not as a service user. So the away day will give the men an opportunity to get out of London, out of their environment that they're used to. So that will remove those stresses that that come with living in London,
Yes.
and to give them an opportunity to experience nature, and
Mm.
there'll be a bit of journaling and some bonding and stuff like that as well. But yeah, so that's something that we've got in the pipeline as far as nature is concerned.
Nice. I like that because, yeah, like what I said, trying to take yourself out of the environment you're in really
Mm,
can help you clear like your actual mental mind where you're actually at. Yeah, matching your physical space to your mental space. What I'm basically trying to say. Yeah, it's very important, very, very important. And if, like you said, through journaling, you're able to mentally clear your mind, having the space around you, if it's clear and empty, you're able to, see things a bit more clear,
yeah,
get more
yeah,
clarity in what's actually happening with you, what you actually need as well. Because I think people
exactly.
that are
Yeah.
experiencing or feel like they are going to that point of feeling suicidal clearly feel that they're not in touch with their needs.
Mm.
So yeah, being able to understand that a bit better.
I
Right.
think, I think for more than anything, it will give them an opportunity to reset,
Mm,
so to kind of start again, or to, pick up sort of some new opportunities, new habits, and just kind of to go inwards, which is
mm,
something that, we, when it comes to journaling, and as a holistic practitioner yourself as well, you know how important it is to go inwards, and how much you get to learn about yourself. You just need those people around you that show you how to do that.
yeah, definitely. And I think, and I've been banging on about this all week, probably more so in the last month, just about being compassionate with yourself throughout the whole journey, because we can be our biggest critic when we're not where we want to be, and mentally we're projecting ourselves as something when we're not actually there, or
Yeah.
there's just a dissociation. That's the right word. So
That's right.
yeah, just being able to reconfigure and balance definitely is what needed.
Um,
Definitely was needed. Okay. Is there any other information that you can provide the listeners as well? Because I think some self-help tips also for individuals that might be feeling um, in any type of way, dark thoughts or just a bit of tension, but also anyone that may know someone but isn't sure how to approach the situation, because that's also a real thing too.
I think in terms of the listeners, so for boys and young men, I do urge you, obviously, as a parents or people who are supporting these young men, to have a look at our Instagram, where there is an array of information about support and services. If you feel that the boys or young men in your life are maybe struggling with their mental health, please go on to their page, and feel free to send us a message, and we can maybe direct you to a service if there is anything on there.
Mm,
In terms of uh, support, or you're managing your mental health, other
mm,
things you could potentially do, which have worked for myself, is I'd say
mm,
to journal. It's really, really, really powerful journaling, because you're able to get your thoughts and feelings down onto paper, and
mm,
um, you can then go back, maybe a week later, or even months or years later, and reflect on how you feel, and then you can see, like, basically how far you've come.
yes, how much
Also,
we've overcome. Yeah.
yeah, I'd say getting a good night's sleep as well is extremely important. And people really don't understand that, but just getting, enough sleep so that you wake up refreshed.
Mm,
Also having doing some exercise. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to join the gym or anything like that.
mhm,
Just some small, like maybe going for a walk and stuff, especially now with
yeah,
the theme of this week being nature, going out,
mm,
stepping outside, going to your local park, sitting down, I don't know, with a paper or a magazine or a book, whatever it is that you like to read. And
mm,
I'd say to meditate as well. For me, that works for me. And
yes.
it doesn't, it's not a religious thing, but for me, being able to have that 5 minutes where just complete silence before
Mm,
before you start your day. And that's
Yeah.
I'd say that would be my tips.
A good power hour, I like to call it.
Yes, yes.
Power hour, because yeah, you need that me time. I can't
Mm,
say every once in a while. It's the everyday thing.
yeah,
Looking
yeah.
after your mental health is an everyday thing, and I think
Uh,
getting your head around that, knowing that it is a daily practice, that even when you are feeling absolutely great, you still need to practice good mental wealth. And
yeah,
yeah, I feel that sometimes we take it for granted when we are in that good place.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and we probably try and do a bit too much,
Mm,
um, and
very
slip back into old habits. But I remember this saying, I'm sure everyone's heard it, but if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same outcome, then
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
definition of insanity. So, no pun intended, but yeah, it's one of these things where you know you've got to kind of switch things up
yeah,
when you know you're not getting the outcome that you deserve as well,
yeah.
because you do deserve to be mentally free, to be happy, to be worthy of love, to be yeah, a being of this earth like everyone else as well.
100%, yeah. That's important.
I'm just going to read out some of the comments
Okay.
before we wrap up as well. So we've got someone that says, let me scroll to the top. Wow, we've got quite a few. Quite a few, quite a few. Keeps taking me back to the bottom now. So we've got, yes, my son was told to man up by teachers by Naya. That's a typical one,
Yeah.
unfortunately. What's your thoughts on that, Danelle? Teachers and their attitude towards children.
My thought on that word man up. Obviously, if you follow us, you look at our campaigns, we say you don't have to man up. Let's talk it through, or
Mm,
write it through, or sing it through, but you do not need to man up. We need to
love that.
stop. Teachers need to stop. Everybody needs to stop saying that.
Love that. Love that. Very much true. And the night also says true preventative measures, definitely. We've got, oh gosh, there's people joining and joining, and I keep missing the comments. So there's another one, a Black Women Fashion Show said, this is so needed, keep doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And you
thank
can
you.
connect with Danelle. You can see all of her details in the post once this live is done. Um, I can't seem to see where all the information's gone, but yeah, here we go. I imagine that 99% of those problems were due to manning up. It's so sad. So what you was talking about, I'm guessing, with the different confounding factors with social, family, all those
Mhm.
different
Yeah,
types of things, socioeconomic status as well, all those different things. Yeah, needing to man up and take control of the situation and
yeah.
not always being able to ask for help. Yeah, okay, so that's the majority of the comments there. Oops, dropped something. Do you have any lasting words for us, beautiful?
In regards, just another word for parents, people who have young men or boys, that would be my last bit of information would be to hug your children, hug your boys, speak to them all the time, every single day. If you can, have conversation with them about how they feel, tell them you love them, you know,
Yes,
please. If you don't, please tell your boys you love them. It's so important that our young Black and Asian men, they know that they are loved. It's so valuable. So please, that would be my last final word for
yeah,
everybody today.
yes,
Hand
and
back.
not to drag it out, that reminded me of a clip actually. I was watching something on Ayana Bazant,
Mhm.
and we were talking about or she had a son and her mother, uh,
Mm,
yeah, a son and his mother on the show, and he was talking about, yeah, you don't tell me that you love me, you don't hug me, you don't, you know, I can't remember the last time you said I love you, son, and that's when that real conversation kind of opened up the floor for them both to be free and vulnerable to yeah, embrace each other fully. So I agree. Hug your sons, love your sons. My son hugs me every day, and as big as he is, 6 foot at 14, I would never change it for the world, you know. So and I agree with you, because they shouldn't feel affection only when they get to a certain age and then it's sexual. I
yeah,
strongly disagree with that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that was my lasting thoughts anyway. But Donelle, thank you so much. And just a quick reminder, where can everyone find you? Because I know it's not just the Brave Project you do, but we'll plug the Brave Project for now. And we'll have you on
So,
again.
oh, and we've got the merchandise as well that I forgot to
Yes, stand up, let me
say.
see, let me see. Everyone, you can support the Brave Project, which is a community interest company. So all proceeds will be going to supporting Danelle spread the word about suicide prevention and awareness. So you can see, stand up again, let everyone see the tagline. You can read it out for us,
So
please.
it says, "You know my name, but not my story." So you know my name, not my story. So
Yeah.
basically, they may know the young men's name, um, but they do not know how they feel or the deep important things that impact and influence their lives.
Yeah.
And we've actually created a poem, and the founder of the Black Women Fashion Show was the narrator actually for the
Ah,
poem that
lovely.
we have on the Brave Project's Instagram account. So thank you.
Lovely.
But yes,
Thank you. Yeah,
so yeah.
thank you.
So this is just for awareness reasons. So any money that we make, all the proceeds go back into the work that we do at the Brave Project.
Yes. So again, people, as much as we are in support of mental health for these larger organizations that can help lots of people, do not get me wrong. We do want to support our smaller organizations too. One, there's likelihood of getting access to support. Yeah. Two, they need the support to help you get the support that you need. Okay. So it's a twofold. You're sending the love, you're receiving the love. And yeah, that's what makes the world go round. So
Yeah.
yes, thank you very much, Danelle. All right, thank you. I'm gonna round it off here, okay?
Yes.
And yes, tomorrow I'm gonna be back at 7 o'clock with another friend. I'm not gonna say who again, but we're gonna be delving into more information and discussions, personal stories around mental health awareness for Mental Health Awareness Week. Okay, so everyone have a beautiful, blessed day. Connect with Danelle, okay? Connect with her and share her information with anyone that you know that may need the support and information. This is critical, okay? It's critical.
Thank you very much. Take care. Have a lovely evening, everybody.
All right,
Take care.
take care, Danelle.
Bye
I'll,
bye.
I'll leave everyone out so you can drop off.
Thank you.
uh, right, that was good. That was good. Yes, Danelle has left. So join me again tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow at 7 p.m. I will be joined by another guest. And yeah, just join Danelle. That's all I can say. She's a beautiful, amazing spirit. All I will say is I've worked personally with her and she has nothing but pure love and intentions for our people. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Um, yeah, anyone that does need the help, get in touch with her, find out all the support information, check out the links. There's a lot of signposting information there for you. If you also want to get any further mental health information, there's a mental health foundation as well as mine, okay? Which I'm also doing 100 miles in May for mine. So raising some money. There's still some time to donate. So those of you that know me personally, head over to my Facebook page. You'll see the fundraiser page there. So far, I'm at my £75, yeah, £75 out of £150 target. So feel free to donate. I don't receive anything, goes straight to mine. And these lives are, yeah, again, just to kind of raise the support and awareness for Mental Health Foundation. So see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Take care. Bye bye.